Hey nerds, Alex here from Nerds Being Geeks. We got some hot takes to talk about. Those grading companies. What's going on with them? Let's get into it. So before we start the video, please like, share, and subscribe to Nerds Being Geeks. I don't know when I post videos because I have a newborn, so it just happens when it happens. Yep. So usually I'm pretty chill on this channel. I talk about the good, I talk about the bad. But I'm gonna go straight shitbag negative. And you will know that because I will be wearing my hot take hat. You'll know I'll be in hot take mode when I'm wearing this. Alright, everyone, I'm in fucking hot take mode. Let's talk about these grading companies and all of the drama that has been going on the last few months. So let's get into it. But before we get into the hot takes, I just want to talk about Nerd Being Geek's new sponsor, our first one. It's your mom. Hot take. Hot take. Whoa. Let's start off with the big boy, CGC. So what hot takes do I got on CGC? Well, it goes back more than just a few months. This goes back to earlier this year, last year, the year before that. I don't know. Since COVID, it's been a fucking blur. My first real issues with CGC, my personal thing, I waited 16 months for one book. 16 months for one book. Yes, it was a magazine-sized book, but oh my God, 16 months is ridiculous. Along with that, just because I didn't want to pay out the ass for, quick shipping, I get punished for doing the basic shipping. 16 months is way too long. The Signature series took over. That really screwed up a lot. I think that pushed a lot of books back. Those Signature series books during COVID got fast tracked for sure. I personally know people that sent books in after me and got books back before me, and they waited like 3 months. That wasn't even a fast tracking, that was during the Signature series. So what other things chapped my ass about CGC? While I was also waiting on that one book for 16 months, they started doing that bullshit with displaying empty cases for Bad Idea books. CGC teamed up with Bad Idea Comics and literally would do a label for one of their books and give it like a 9.9 or a 10, and the case is literally empty. It is just a case with a label, and I am just sitting here waiting over a year for my one book, and they're going to use time and they're going to use resources to produce this trash. So next, my issue with CGC was the Black Flag Gate, whatever they want to call it. Black Flag Comics had these Ultimate Fallout 4 facsimile comics, and they put acetate covers, attached them with new staples that were commissioned by Clayton Crane, I believe, and then were graded by CGC, and they were getting back 9.8s, they were getting back 9.9s, they were getting back 10s with the Universal Blue label, which means that the book was not altered in any way. Adding to the comic means it's been altered from the factory. And this caused a huge uproar in the community. I'm sure most of you that are watching this already know about it. There was this other thing about, people waiting in line and people getting these acetate CGC graded blue label comics. They were given out to influencers in the comic book community while, people were waiting in line and were wanting to pay for them but couldn't get them. Yeah, I don't care about that. I can do like a whole hot take video on influencers, and I probably will at some point. But that's not my CGC problem. My problem is that CGC teamed up with this company and gave comics that were altered after they came from the factory and gave them blue labels. And I think once Marvel came out with a statement saying that yeah, we didn't really authorize this, I think CGC started to change their tune on this and stopped giving these books blue labels. But they were going to keep going with it, and they were supporting Black Flag Comics. They were standing their ground. They were like, nope, we're sticking to this. We're in the right. We're the grading company. This is what we're doing. And until they got called out by Marvel is when they started changing their tune. CGC's doing these Death of Superman exclusive books. Now, I don't think any grading company should get an exclusive book. That seems like a conflict of interest. Because that kind of, it just doesn't seem right. You should be a third party company that has nothing to do with the production of the books. You are just grading these books. Seems like a bad idea. Well, when you're the big grading company on the block and all the flippers and speculators constantly send their books to you, even though they have so many discrepancies, they have so many issues, and even these sellers even complain about it, but continue to send the books in. So they're basically not going to get called out until, Marvel calling them out. So I think one of the other things that CGC has recently done, and I don't know if it's to take our mind off of the dumb shit that they've been doing the last few months, but they're going to put, if a book is newsstand on the label. Are you fucking kidding me? Newsstand? You could look at the fucking cover and see if it's a newsstand or if it's a direct. I don't think the newsstand needs to be on the label. Well, you know what? Maybe it should be on the label, but it shouldn't be made to be a big deal. If you're looking at the cover of the book, you can clearly see if it's a newsstand or direct. They should have been doing that years ago. All grading companies should be doing that. There's no excuse not to, but they shouldn't be promoting it as look at this next great thing we're doing. No, that is like a basic piece of information that should be on the label that you can see just by looking through the clear plastic at the cover to tell if it's a direct or a newsstand. My God, that is, who the fuck cares? Who cares? Oh, because newsstands are rarer and you get more money from a newsstand than a direct. Yeah, so fucking what? You can look at it. You can look right at the book and tell. You can tell that it's a newsstand or direct. CBCS. Oh, well, for me personally, I had books that took 4 months. I had another set that took about 6 months. I am currently waiting on 5 books that got sent in September of 2021. At the time of this recording, it has been a year since those books were sent off. They weren't even put into their system until February. So 5 months after they've already been there, they finally checked them in. And back in May of 2022, I sent off another handful of books. So I probably won't be seeing those books until the way it's going, 2024. But just like CGC, CBCS offers an express for like $80 extra per grading. Me being the cheap ass that I am, I did not do that. But after waiting over a year, I probably will, if I go back to CBCS, which I probably will, I'll probably fork that $80 extra out, but I'm not sending in nearly as many books as I usually do. It'll probably be 1 or 2 books, depending on the book. So what's the other big thing CBCS has done? Well, they have this huge controversy that they lost like 300 plus books from a customer. And yeah, that's not great. I know they're in the process of moving to a different warehouse. So these books may have got sent to the old warehouse. I don't know. But yeah, that doesn't look good for a company that's been, on the heels of the big boy on the block, CGC. This really hurt them. But, I think they'll bounce back. But losing books and then having all of the dirty laundry from it posted online because CBCS's customer service is trash. That is what it is. I mean, their customer service is trash. That it is trash is what I'm trying to say. So any ground that CBCS has made on catching up to CGC literally just got thrown out the window. People that thought about maybe switching to CBCS probably are changing their mind because they're scared about their books being lost, even though CGC has lost books plenty in the past. Probably not 300 plus at once from one customer. It's happened. It's definitely happened. I mean, it's affected people so bad that there's some influencers out there that have even talked about how bad the quality control at CGC has been. Like they've even had books that are graded like a 9.8, but their spine color breaking ticks all the way down the spine, but they get like a 9.8 on it and point it out like, yo, this isn't good, but I'm still going to send to you because now I'm scared that my books are going to get lost from CBCS. So, I mean, people are going to be more forgiving to CGC. They've been around longer. They probably make more mistakes, but I don't know. It's not a good situation for anyone, honestly. CBCS, like, PR wise, really fucked themselves on this one, and I like CBCS. All right, EGS. Well, I technically don't have any experience with them. I've never sent books off to them. I've sent books to CGC. I've sent books to CBCS. They are kind of a newer company. They're gaining a lot of traction. They have some sponsorships with some bigger comic book YouTube, whatever you want to call them, influencers or personalities or channels, which is great. Good for them. Um, I don't see them surpassing CBCS, even with all the drama that's been going on over the past few months about them losing books. If CBCS, who has the power of Beckett behind it, can't even pass CGC, I doubt that an even smaller company that doesn't have that backing is going to pass CGC. But what is cool about EGS is the custom labels. You can color code your label to match the color scheme of the book. So I think for collectors, people that don't flip their books, I think that would be a thing more towards them. Uh, you can get these really cool custom labels, and if you want to customize it, you can have different labels on them, as in like I've seen like military insignia on there. You can have different pictures on there. You can customize it. So as a collector, I think that would be a cool thing to test out. I know they're getting brand new cases that are more towards the new CBCS cases. And the fact that you don't need to replace the case every 6, 8, 10 years like you do with CGC, because CGC still uses the microchamber paper that is like a sponge that absorbs moisture that has to be replaced. CBCS and apparently EGS have this new type of plastic that doesn't require that microchamber paper. But do I see EGS surpassing CBCS and CGC? I don't. Flippers, speculators, I feel like for the foreseeable future will continue to send to CGC because that's the top dollar that they will get. If you have a 9.8 in a book, that's CGC, CBCS, and EGS, even with, I think, that custom label or even just a standard label, CGC will always get top dollar. That's just how it's been. Even when CBCS was right there trying to match them, CGC is king. That's just how it is. I'm sick of people saying, well, if you want change, if you don't want CGC to be the top dog, put your money where your mouth is and send your books somewhere else. I mean, I felt like that for a long time, and I said that for years, but guess what? I'm not that speculator or flipper that's sending in 25 books that's just going to flip them as soon as they get them back. That's not me. Flippers flip. Speculators, they'll flip them. What is going to get you the quickest turnaround rate? What's going to give you the highest dollar return? It's CGC. People like me that send in 5, 10 books at a time and don't put them on the secondary market and just keep them in their personal collection, that's not gonna change the levels. That's going to just give my money to a different company. That's not going to change the people that are sending in 25, 50 pre-screen 9.8s to CGC. That's just not how that works. Well, as a community, we could change. No, man, the community can't even decide what a first appearance is. Cameos, full appearance, just first appearance. We can't even figure that out. We can't even get that straight. Even the grading companies can't match those. Well, off of that rant, back to EGS. Good for them. Competition is always great. I think, like I said, more for the collector than the flipper on the secondary market. PGX. Yeah, they're fucking dead. Not even worth talking about. Don't send books to them. All right, so rant is over on grading companies and all of the shenanigans they've done this year and the last few years, basically since COVID. That's it for my hot take. I'll probably bring this series back because it's good to get some of these things off my chest. And, thanks for watching.